That's very interesting too, because I'm sure a lot of people are out there thinking, well, if I have, then somebody else doesn't, which is also that scarcity mindset. You think about, I mean, if I take it, then of course somebody else will not be able to have it. We all know that everybody can have everything they want with the effort put forth. And sometimes it's not even the effort, it's the belief that you can have a thing, which is another thing I'm learning about the manifestation. We were talking a little bit about that. Is like you have to believe that you can have things for that to even happen.
Be the change you want to see. Make a difference by giving your money a purpose, a mission to do good. Welcome to Money with Mission, where we show you how to create passive income so that you have options for how to work and how to live your life while leaving a legacy of positive social impact.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Money with Mission. Today, we're going to be chatting with Sanja Noble and Asa Patterson, both of Premier 72. They are both managing partners of this organization. It is independent and specializes in the utilization of financial contracts to optimize their clients' financial goals. Ms. Noble has over 3 decades of financial experience in trust and debt management, capital planning, and estate preservation. Mr. Patterson, along the same lines, both are very, very experienced, specialized income growth, maximization, asset protection, and tax advantages through trusts and financial products. He has over 25 years of financial experience. He really specializes in structuring private funding for real estate investment transactions with tools like trusts, IRAs, private banks, and insurance contracts. He has a keen eye on safety and security, making sure that we have multiple exit strategies in our plan. Welcome to the show, Asa and Sanja. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having us.
This is going to be fun, you guys. We've been in the back end already having a whole bunch of fun. So have a good time, listen in, and let's see what we get out of these folks. Sanja and Asa, my first question most of the time to people is, most of us weren't born into money and having a money, or we have a money attitude, we have a money mindset. For many of the people that I have on the show, that has changed over time. Can you remember what your money mindset was as a younger person and how you evolved to where you are today?
Well, that's a great question. Do you want me to go first or you go first?
Ladies first.
Okay, thank you. So I feel like I always often think about when I was growing up. When I grew up in one community that was a little bit more affluent. That's where I lived. But I went to grammar school near my grandmother's house. And on my block, I would say I was like the last person to get the Swatch watch or get the K-Swiss. Do you remember those back in the day?
Yes.
So I was the last one because I would get those things for my birthday. My birthday was at the end of the summer. So all summer long, I would be begging my parents to, hey, can I get a Swatch watch? Can I get this? Can I get this? Because everybody in the neighborhood already has those things. But then when I went to school, I went to private school, I would be the first one at my school with the Swatch watch or the K-Swiss or things like that. So I kind of grew up in 2 areas, just learning about that mindset. So it was like kind of being in, my foot is in 2 communities, a footprint, and just knowing what scarcity felt like over the summer and then being called the supposed rich girl at my grammar school. So that was very different for me.
Yeah. How have you evolved to where you are today and how you think about money?
So he'll tell the story. We played his favorite game, the cash flow game. And he has been very observant of me. And I tried to hold on to my dollar. In my mindset, even though I know that more money is coming, I'm still working towards receiving it and knowing that it's coming. So I still, even though you have that background underlining, I still kind of sometimes I'm breaking it, this mindset of scarcity at times, of holding on to the past, of when is the next dollar coming? I don't know. Let me make sure all of these things are taken care of before I venture off into investing.
Yeah. It is a daily, almost daily struggle or a daily commitment to not having that scarcity mindset for me too. I appreciate that. Thanks for sharing that. I think a lot of people work on that one. So, and many of us don't even realize we have that mindset. And then you think magically it's gone because I've already read these books. I already understand that stuff. But just like exercise and weight loss, those are daily
Yeah.
things that you work on. I
And
really appreciate you sharing that.
yeah, and you really have to dig deep and find out what happened to you. All of those experiences, good or bad, but just knowing what the root of you in your core.
Hmm. Hmm. Appreciate that. Mr. Asa, Mr. Patterson, tell us about you.
So it's interesting because as I go along the journey and become more aware of what has happened to make me who I am, I look back and realize that we had, well, compared to the others in the neighborhood.
Mhm.
And it was something that really, I was a little embarrassed by it, believe it or not. I can remember a Christmas where all the children were at my house. I was me and my brother, and we used to get everything we wanted for Christmas, and it would be the Tyco, it would be brand name toy where almost everyone in the neighborhood would get the knockoffs. We grew up on the south side of Chicago. So there was an area that you could buy a lot of really junk called Roseland. And these are a bunch of shops that really are kind of like the Alibaba of today, where you
Okay.
get stuff that's not really name brand, but it's close to it. So we got everything. And I can remember I was about 7 or 8 years old, just looking back and observing everyone happy and just having a great time. And I was sad because they didn't have what we had.
Mm.
And so as I, mature in age, I'm grappled with dealing with having more than others and feeling that they can have abundance as well. So it's just something I've been working on, just being okay with having more. And
Mhm.
really, I guess that's why I'm a teacher and a trainer to help people understand that they can acquire and have the thing that they say they want, but just put in a little work. So it's just been really interesting as I grow and reflect on my relationship with wealth and money.
That's very interesting too, because I'm sure a lot of people are out there thinking, well, if I have, then somebody else doesn't, which is also that scarcity mindset. You think about, I mean, if I take it, then of course somebody else will not be able to have it. Where we all know that everybody can have everything they want with the effort put forth. And sometimes it's not even the effort, it's the belief that you can have a thing, which is another thing I'm learning about the manifestation. We were talking a little bit about that. Is like you have to believe that you can have things for that to even happen. That's really interesting. Are you still working on that and keeping yourself in that place where I can have things and I realize that other people can have things too? It's not like I'm taking their pie.
Again, I realize I don't want to say a struggle, it's a challenge
Mhm.
because no one wants to struggle, but everyone likes to be challenged. So I would say it's a challenge that I'm working on, embracing, having, and being okay with others not being where I think they should be.
Yeah.
I had a fraternity brother visit my house when I lived in Vegas, about 6,000 square foot house, beautiful. I mean, just immaculate. And he was going to spend the night. And I hadn't told him anything about the house, because it's just where I was living. I wasn't bragging or anything. And when he saw it, he and his wife were just in awe. He was so uncomfortable that he couldn't spend the night. He came up with an excuse to leave. And Felicia, that hurt. That hurt really deeply because, I wanted to share, talk to him
Yeah.
and kind of explain to him, I'm the kind of person like, hey, I love what you have here. What are you doing? Is it legal? Can you teach me? But, not so many people have that mindset. So that really struck a chord and it happened repeatedly.
Yeah.
So it's just something that I'm working on and doing my best to overcome because it limits my ability to grow and manifest and create more because I feel that I don't want to leave those that I love behind
Yeah.
where they are.
Yeah. Wow, those are big ones, you guys. I have both of them with
Right.
both of those things, the scarcity and then not wanting to leave people behind. And sometimes they just don't want to come. I'm like, what are you doing? How are you doing this? I'm just like you, Ace, in that part. But other people, again, are like, wow, who do you think you are to have all this kind of stuff? And
Exactly.
the really
Right.
hard part about that is realizing you may have to leave some people behind as you go forward. It's not even you leaving them behind and
Right.
realizing that it's not even actually because that feels sad to me, leaving people behind, but more they decided not to come along. It was their decision to hang back and not pursue. And everybody's on our road for whatever reason they're on our road, and they may not get to the end of that with us, which is also a very challenging thing to think about.
Definitely.
Yeah. And I just wanted to add, I was talking about the manifestation, and one of the things that we have been working towards was a lot of times just realizing what you have and realizing that you're blessed, but knowing that there's so much more for you. And we've been working toward taking the lid off of our capacity limit that we have set for ourselves, and just knowing that there's so much more, and not to be so worried about anything that comes that is for you. So that was just wanted to add that part, because I just think that that's important. A lot of times we're working and we're doing things and we should be grateful for what we have. And yes, you
Yes.
should be grateful and
Yes.
thankful, but oftentimes we forget to say thank you and let me have some more.
We're s- I love the take the lid off my capacity. And I'd never even thought about that. But 100% we do that without even thinking about, okay, this is as good as I'm going to get. I've reached where I want to be. And then the next thing is, where else can I go?
Mhm.
To embrace that. So good. So you guys, now you have your company Premier 72. You're both managing this company, and you both are helping people realize their financial goals, realize their financial dreams. Talk about how you do that.
One of the things that I guess we should have coordinated who's talking about what.
It's
But what is interesting is we love meeting people. And like we talked about, taking the lid off of your capacity, we are reaching people and allowing people to start dreaming. So a lot of us are walking around and you don't even realize that you're just walking in your everyday life and not even thinking about what else could be from me.
Mhm.
So as we're getting older, you start thinking about, what is life for me after I stop working? Can I stop working? And how does that look like and feel like? And is it going to hurt? A lot of us don't think about it because we think it's going to hurt. And so what we do is we just start with education, and I'll turn it over to Asa.
Yeah. The main thing is education. A lot of times people are living lives of insanity. And we know the definition, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And it's because of the lack of knowledge. And it's also because as we grow up, we're indoctrinated to stay in a certain box, right? I say we are the lights at the end of the tunnel, because people forget that they can have more. They forget that there is something else that can be acquired. So we really just pride ourselves on providing the education and turning on that dream machine again. A lot of our clients are in professions that they love, and they have really come to the point in their own minds that this is it.
Mhm.
I'm just going to work until I can no longer work. And they don't have any visions beyond the work, or
Mhm.
any visions beyond, well, what does my finances look like after this? Is there something else? So that's why I say that we're the lights at the end of the tunnel to help people see that there is more. And what's amazing, Alicia, is that they have it all within their own reach.
Right.
Sure, you're familiar with Acres of Diamond,
No,
Russell Crowell?
no.
Oh my
Talk
God.
about it.
Okay. Uh, just real briefly, African farmer during Diamond Rush
Okay.
was seeing all and hearing all these stories about other explorers going out and finding diamonds and becoming wealthy. He had I don't know how many acres of land, but he decided to sell his land and go on a quest, take his money, and now he's going to go find acres of diamonds somewhere else.
Okay.
Well, the guy that bought his land happened to have his cows or whatever going across, and they crossed the creek. He kicked this big mud rock that it was colorful and beautiful and everything. So he took it home and put it on his mantle. A friend of his who came by, who was an explorer, saw that and like, do you realize what this is? And it was one of the biggest diamonds that was ever found in the rough.
Wow.
So this farmer that just bought the land went on and find the largest diamond mine historically at that time, right? So it goes on. We have acres of diamonds in our own backyard.
Yeah.
We just have to have someone, most of the time, it's someone from the outside coming in and saying, look at this, look at this, look at this. And that's what we find out when we work with clients, that they have so many diamonds in their backyard, and we just polish them up and show them how to repurpose them to reach their goal.
Yeah. I like that story. That's like almost The Alchemist, Paul Coelho, where the shepherd goes off to find his life and find everything he wants and ends up exactly where he was. It's
Mhm.
really that that's really good. Yummy stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. So, people are out here and we believe that we've done everything we can do, we've gotten everything we can. And so to me, we're in our box and we don't even know we're in our box. But and we think that this is all there is. It's this whole matrix thing. This is all there is. What do you see as the best way? I know education, but just to even get into somebody's box so they look, there's so much more out here. There's so much more. Just step outside just a little bit so you can see it. Because I find that a lot of people are in their box, their blinders are on. This is what I have. This is not scary. I can do this. So I find it difficult and really challenging to reach people like that and get them to just kind of even just take a little bit off, come out, just put a foot out here. How are you guys working through that kind of challenge?
Well, it is a challenge. Well, one of the things is as we sit down with clients, we go through, first thing we start to go through is their tax return. And there, because we understand looking at taxes and everything, there are some quick indicators on the front page that we see for misallocations of money. And I don't want to say misallocations, but areas of just unknown.
That can be repurposed.
Yes, yes. And when we show them these things, that's when they begin to dream again. Because a lot of times we think that all we have is all we have.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just really just showing them that, hey, this is possible. This can be reallocated for this. And as we do those things, it typically turns on the dream machine where they can start seeing a possibility. And once they see that there is a possibility to do something with what they already have, it helps them to see that there are some other possibilities.
Once you step a little bit outside the box and nothing bad happens, you kind of get going, don't you? It's like,
Right.
oh man.
Right.
So the first step they have to say, okay, I want to see what there is. And then that's a toe out. And then you start opening up eyes and taxes. We talk about taxes all the time, your biggest expense in your lifetime. You got to look at that one to figure out how that could be better in your life. And when you can figure out you can save some money in taxes,
Oh, yeah.
that's just the very beginning of things right there.
Exactly. And most of our clients are getting we're saving them about $49,000 a year in tax savings. So we're looking at something. Some things are very simple things to do. Some things are a little bit more challenging, but we are calling ourselves a wealth strategist. And so
Mhm.
that's what we're doing. We're going to mine and look for those diamonds so that we can repurpose them so that those dollars are working better for you and harder.
Yes.
I want to clarify where she says 49 in savings. Some of our clients pay quarterly. Some
Uh-huh.
just pay a lump sum at the end of the year. That
Mhm.
savings is actual tangible money that's reallocated into an investment vehicle of some sort. So it's just not money savings. A lot of people say, well, I saved this money. And I say, okay, show it to me,
Yeah.
right? Because if it's saved, then you have access to it. This is actual money that is reallocated to a tool of your choice instead of going to your silent partner, which is Uncle Sam.
Uncle Sam, who gets to do whatever he wants with your money. You have a choice. You got not much to say about that.
And it
based
just
on-
Learning
doesn't
more and
work.
more.
Right.
Go ahead.
Doesn't even work for it.
No, exactly.
Right. Felicia, how would you like it if you had a business partner who didn't provide any input, wasn't a sounding board, didn't market, didn't talk to any customers for intake, and took 37% of your money?
I've had those business partners and I don't have them anymore.
Exactly. Exactly. Right.
It is not that's oh my gosh. When you're looking at it like that, somebody sitting next to you taking 30%, 40%, 50% if it's you're depending on how you did your structure of the money who is doing absolutely nothing.
Right.
You wouldn't put up with that.
Right.
You
Exactly.
wouldn't put up with that. Or they're
Well-
doing things you don't like.
Right. And the biggest thing that we encounter is the mindset shift that has to happen. A lot of business owners, and I use that in quotes, are consumers who have created a job for themselves.
Mhm.
It really has to be a paradigm shift. The
Mm.
wealthy truly believe that they are working and all of their efforts and energies and success is based on their own intellectual property, nothing else. So that's why the wealthy are so aggressive with eliminating any and all expenses. And the number one expense is taxes, because they don't want to share. But what happens with consumers that become entrepreneurs and business owners, they're still living off of the kind of a little bit of entitlement and, I don't want to rock the boat or I don't want to upset anything. So it's really a mindset shift that has to happen to really help them understand where they are and how they can truly benefit from what they already have in their backyard.
The thing about the wealthy mindset, I've just started to really push into that a little bit more. And you talked about cash flow 101. I played that game so much and I had a group playing for a little while. Okay.
Yes.
Wealthy mindset, and
Yeah.
how the wealthy think about buying assets as opposed to buying things, and their assets now pay for their things. Is that what you meant by the wealthy getting rid of all their expenses? It's like, it's not just to make money to buy things, to buy non-producing things. Let's put it that way. Is that what you meant?
That's part of it. And it's also, let's say people work, they're a 6-figure earner and they're okay with taxes being taken out because it's a benefit. Well, I have a job. I go to an office. They provide me this or they provide me that. So it's okay if something is taken out of my salary that no one worked for. It's just really turning your liabilities into assets. That's number one. But number two is understanding that you are the product that created all the results.
Mm-hmm.
And why would you want to share some of your results with an entity that had no involvement? And it's illegal. So many people's like, they talk about people in politics and wealthy, like, yeah, they're scamming, they're not paying taxes. Well, the tax code is set up to support entrepreneurs and business owners. And I say to pay their fair share.
Right.
Now, they pay less in taxes percentage wise than your typical employee because they understand the tax code was set up for their benefit.
Yes.
Right. So it's just a big shift that a lot of people take longer to embrace.
Yes. Yes. Sanja, do you want to add to that?
No, I mean, they hit the nail on the head, the hammer on the head, whatever.
Nail on the head. Yeah.
The point is taken. We got it. So it's just a matter of that. So I don't have anything to add to that.
Okay. All right. So I know people are out there like, what do they do? How do you do this? What happens? I hear them now. People are calling me saying, what the heck? Come on, Felicia. So
what do we do? Oh boy. So number one of the biggest things is that we are a resource. We love meeting people just like you. We met you a couple months ago and it was so powerful. And that's what we do. Make sure that we go out and meet everyone and just have a conversation with people and say, how can I help you with your business? That's the number one thing. And then people tend to tell us. Some people, we went to an event the other day and someone was like, I just need help. I just need help. And as she was talking about her retirement, like she did not know how to exit her business. So we meet people where they are. Initially, it is just a conversation, a free conversation, just to see where it is that you're hurting. A lot of times no one is asking you. And as a business owner, we tend to walk around because we have to have that mentality that everything is going to be okay because it is rough out here to be an entrepreneur starting out. And so once you do that, you have the mindset, like, I'm not going to tell anybody because I'm going to make it because I don't want to hear all the naysayers, like, you should have just stayed at your job. You should have just did that.
Yeah.
And so when someone comes to you and says, how can I help you? You are, in most cases, our clients or potential clients are like, oh, thank you. Now I can have a conversation of what's hurting me. Some of those things that are hurting people are, I don't have enough clients. I need to have more revenue coming in and I'm getting money, but I don't know what to do. I have it sitting in a bank account. So that's what we do. Just really having the conversation. And then they said, go ahead and say what we do the rest of the way.
Quick question, because I just felt a bunch of people turn off because you talked about business owners. Quite a few people listening are W-2 earners. They have their job. Do you work with those folks also?
Yes, the same thing. They still want to retire and they want to retire the way that they want to retire. There's so many people. We had a client and she is a worker and she is how old? She's probably like 67 years old and is scared to retire because she didn't think that if she stopped working, she would not have any money.
Okay.
And where's my next?
Yes.
And so what we do is just bring the calmness all of the storm to make sure that we are setting her up for success. Again, we start with the end in mind, making sure that she is saying, this is how I want to live. This is the amount of money I need to live the life that I want. And so we work backwards from there and say, hey, this is the different things that we have. So Asa, go ahead and talk about that.
I'm going to interrupt before you go, is that there are a lot of people, then there's folks out here working. So I know there must be a lot of people that are saving or doing what they think they're supposed to do for retirement, but they don't, just like your lady who doesn't know how to spend it. Well, how do I know it's going to be there? How do we know? And even if you can look at your 401k, you can look at all that stuff and say, well, it's there, but how much can you spend once you actually are not bringing in dollars anymore? And that's a really big question for a lot of people. Yeah.
So part of that is we look at what you're doing right now. So some people are participating in their 401k, their pension, and different things. And that's why we do a full analysis of where you are and what you have. And then we ask you what your goals are, what you need to have. And then we do a forecast to say, based on what you're doing right now, in most cases, we're saying you're going to run out of money in 10 years. And so, and I know that's scary, but I'd rather somebody tell me that at 50 or at 60 before I'm retiring than to have retired. And then it's like I only have money for 7 years and have to go back to work at 70 or 72.
Yes.
So that's what we do. And then based on that information, if you don't like the answer, then we'll say, okay, well, these are the different things that we can do to help you get to where you want. Sometimes it may be stopping contributing to your company's 401k, using money for yourself.
Yeah.
And growing it maybe a little bit differently. So I'm a licensed insurance agent. So I have and I'm not captive, meaning that can reach my arm in my magic bag and pull out all different types of legal tricks that will be able to help you. So that's what we do.
Okay. And so we're talking about retirement, like retirement is a government sanctioned thing, but retirement, and I use the word and say it's when you can do whatever you want to do, whenever you want to do it. So that's another part of it is if you say, I want to be retired when I'm 40 and you're 30 and you're talking to Sanja and Asa, they can help you manipulate, which always sounds like a bad word, work through what you're doing right now to get you there.
For you. Right.
Help. Yes. Got you. Okay, Asa. Okay. And Sanja said something about insurance, and I'm sure people's like, insurance? That's just something you pay that doesn't do anything for you.
Right.
Until you have a problem.
So we create a safe space. And once again, it starts with education. A lot of people will think a GoFundMe is an insurance policy for taking care of their loved ones. Insurance is a financial tool. I call it the new insurance, where there's something called living benefits. Stroke, heart attack, major medical catastrophe are things that happen all the time. And, our peers, our friends and family can only be off work for that window of time. And now they're rushing to get back to work because their workman's comp kicks in after 90 days. They don't have that 90-day grace, right? And it's just so many tools. Insurance is just a tool that has been the origin. I won't go into that, but insurance has been created as a tool to support individuals. It is a tool that is maximized by the wealth because they understand leverage, right? So Felicia, if I could give you $100 a month and you guarantee me that I'm going to get $1 million back, would you do it?
How long do I have to give you $100 a month? Forever?
Forever. Let's say forever.
And I'm going to get $1 million whenever I want it?
There are certain stipulations, right?
Okay,
let's back up. Let's talk about legacy creation. All right.
Okay.
So with that $100 a month, if you had a stroke, a heart attack, had cancer, had a critical illness, you could tap into 75% down to 25% of that $1 million.
Gotcha.
In exchange for that $100, right? So it's, again, a mindset. Okay. Everyone, if you ask them if they have insurance on their phone, what do you think they would say?
Most probably say yes, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why? Because that is one of the most
I
protected,
can't
important
get rid of,
devices.
yeah, can't let something happen to this thing. Yes.
Exactly. But we don't have the same view for our life. Right. And when you talk about legacy creation, that's what we talk about. That's the buzzword that people hear. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, thinking about insurance on my phone and insurance on my life. Oh, that's very interesting. Because insurance on my phone, I get my phone back. Insurance on my life, I think I've always thought about it as when I die, then my folks get stuff so they can take
Mhm.
care of stuff. And then
Mhm.
that's my thing I left to them. And you're talking about life insurance a little differently. I can get my phone back, and now
Mhm.
I had a stroke. I didn't die, but I can use that life insurance to help continue to live and support myself. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Just like the insurance on your phone, there's certain stipulations that must be met before the insurance company says, yes, we'll give you a new phone. Just
Yes.
like insurance with living benefits, there's certain stipulations that have to be met that says if you have a certain type of disability, the insurance company is going to give you 25% of the death benefit up to 75% of the death benefit. And you are able to use that money to get the special advanced medical treatment that you need so that you don't have to rush back to work. You're able to pay the bills so that you're not stressed, so you can have peace of mind so that you can heal. And depending on the disability, you may not ever have to go to work, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
if someone's making $60,000 a year and they had $1 million policy and they just got $500,000 from the living benefits, they have enough money to not have to go back to work, to get special medical treatment, to check off everything on their bucket list, to pay
Mm-hmm.
off their home, to pay off their car, and just to live a totally different life. And when they pass away, 50%, whatever the difference is, still passes on to their beneficiary.
Okay.
It's just a tool to use to protect you in case something happens.
Okay.
Just like we have the insurance on our phones in case something happens.
Right. So I'm full transparency, guys. I'm working with Sanja and Asa in their business. I'm working to get my insurance better. I'm doing it for different reasons. Yes, I want my life to be taken care of. Yes, of course. But there's other things that we can use this vehicle for. Is that correct? Like I want to use it for, like, I know it's correct. We can use it for investing and that kind of
Yes.
thing. And
Yeah.
how does that work?
Well, that's a wonderful area, and we love to talk about the investment uses of the policy. And everyone's heard the buzzword, create your own bank, be your own bank.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a way to do it. Here's an example. Let's say you have, or a listener has $100,000 from a real estate deal, right? They have
Mm-hmm.
$100,000 cash. Typically, that money will go into their checking or savings account. They have another deal that they want to do. They need $25,000 down, and then they're going to use 50 of it for repairs.
Okay.
So if you're taking 75,000 out of that checking or savings account, how much is left?
How much did I take out? I'm sorry.
You took out
50.
75,000 from the 100.
I got 25 left in my account.
Right. So that 25 is growing and compounding at whatever rate of return is available there.
Not
Right.
much right now. Right.
Not
Okay.
right. And insurance is a financial contract. It's a contract. It's a policy, but the legal term, it's a contract between you and a financial institution.
Okay.
So if you had that $100,000 in a cash value life insurance policy, you can borrow from the cash value that's there.
Okay.
Okay. Just like the savings account in the bank, you have it in your cash value, quote unquote, savings account in your insurance policy.
Okay.
And let's say you choose to borrow the same $75,000.
Okay.
Okay. How much is in the cash value now that you've taken 75 from the 100?
Is it still a 25 or is it,
Right. The normal math say, well, I took out 75,
I
25
have
remain.
100?
Right. But because it's a financial contract with a financial institution that's been around for hundreds of years, they allow you to take the money out of their cash reserve.
Mhm.
So your $100,000 is collateral for your $75,000 loan. So now your $100,000 is still growing and compounding untouched,
Okay.
even though you've taken 75 of it. So you're double dipping.
Okay.
It's such a power, sometimes it takes a little bit of time. They
Takes
need to pause and rewind that.
Yeah.
to listen to that again. But it's
I'm
just
going
a
to say it
tool.
again. So here it is. You have a financial institution that's been around for a long time that you've been paying into your cash value life insurance policy. You have $100,000 of cash value that you want to go do something with, $75,000 of it. You take that $75,000 out, which seems like you should only have 25 left, but you haven't taken it from your own account. You've actually borrowed it from that financial institution, and they're using your cash value as collateral for your loan. So now that your 100,000 that you have in there is still growing, and you've out doing something else and growing that somewhere else, so you can bring it back and put it back and have that same thing happen. Yes?
Yes, absolutely.
I hope that made sense to you guys. If not, rewind and listen
Yeah.
again. Write
Yeah.
it down
It
because
gives
this
you-
is powerful stuff.
Yeah, and that gives you the opportunity to grow your money more than once. So oftentimes as you use it, I've got to wait until that investment gives me a return and then
Yes.
put my money back. But there was a loss of time that you were earning money during that time. So instead of you losing money during that time, your money is continued to grow compounding over here, and you get to grow money over here. So 2 times, 3 times, whatever you want to do, but that's the power of the financial product.
I was just talking to one of my clients and they were talking about it takes so long. I had 100K, I put it into this deal, and now I have to wait to build up another 100K so I can do another deal, or wait till that comes back with friends so I can do another deal. And that can take 5 years for that to come back. But with this product, over probably it sounds like less time, you can end up with a better return. Am I getting that right?
Yes.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And
Okay.
the real benefit is the money that's growing in your cash value life insurance policy. There's ways to access that money and not incur any taxes on the money. Again, the taxes is the biggest eroder of our wealth because we don't take the time to truly understand how to overcome that.
Yes.
If they want to Google a penny double, 10 times with taxation and double without taxation, it's millions of dollars of difference because of the taxes.
Yes.
Right. So
Yeah.
it's just so many ways to legally pay your fair share, which is significantly less than you ever thought could be because the tax code is set up to support that.
Yes. You guys, I don't know about anybody else, but I'm excited. And this is not new stuff. This didn't just get invented 5 years ago. Is that correct?
No,
No.
this is,
It's been
This is-
around for a long time.
How come we don't know? If that's that when I first heard about it, I was like, how could I not have known? How come it's not wider known?
So both of us took like a deep sigh at the same time we were asked. But that is the reason why we started our company, was to make sure that we're bringing it to so everyone can take advantage of this. This is not
Yes.
something that is just for the wealthy. This is for any and everyone.
Yeah.
we have a hairdresser, in her 20s that is a client doing this. And she eventually wants to have her own salon. Well, she's
Yes.
building up her little bank through her cash value policy that she's just dumping money into because she makes a lot of cash.
Mhm.
And now 5 years, 7 years, she's going to be able to take that money to put into a down payment, have money to put the equipment in the shop so that she can set her business up totally differently. And now she can create a business, have a system in place versus standing on her feet doing hair for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
And one other thing I wanted to add was that this isn't just for business owners. I know you had mentioned that before, but just imagine a lot of people have children and they're making a decision on whether or not I'm saving for college education or am I saving for my retirement. But with this, you can create a family bank for yourself that you can use it for the college, for your retirement, for illness. So it's covering everything. So it's not a this or that, is all of it.
Yeah. And this would be a place because what's the name of the 529? What's the college and
529.
529 fund? So this could take the place. I don't really understand that. I don't think that was around when I was working
So,
getting my
yeah,
kids through college.
it's new. It's not new. I mean, it's at least 25 years old, if not older than that. But at the same time, and I used the 529. I thought I was doing a great job because I was actually pregnant when I started with my son. But at the same time, there were stipulations. You got to be in school. You got to do this. Is it for books? Is it for tuition? What is it for? But when you have the IUL, I'm just calling and asking for my money. No one's doing a credit check. No one's looking to see why you're using it for. What are you using it for? Anything like that is, hey, I need a loan, and they're wiring it to your account. And it's just that simple.
Yeah. Yep. IUL stands for
Index Universal Life Policy.
Yeah. So I'm hearing that insurance, particularly life insurance is what we're talking about here, is a vehicle to leverage your money. It's a way to actually be able to use your money in ways that the bank's not going to let you use it. Your 401k is not going to let you use it. Your 529 is not going to let you use it that way. And the wealthy have been using this for years. I know businesses like banks use this way of financing things and holding money and building their wealth. So the more you learn about the way the wealthy and corporations use money and use leverage and use these vehicles, and then you find out they're available to you and you don't use it, that's your choice. That's 100% your choice. But this is legal ways for all of us to be wealthy. And to me, the more of us are wealthy, the better the place is, the place being our world. To me, when I control my money and do things with it that I want, I have the impact that I want to have and the impact, the change, the things that I want to see. To me, it's so much better than leaving it to our government to do it, who sees things much differently than I do. And that's not to say I'm against the government most of the time, but a lot of the time, I don't like what's happening with my money. So I want to have control over it. I actually, believe it or not, talked to somebody who said that their obligation is to pay taxes. And then we had a whole conversation around that. So your obligation is to do.
That's the indoctrination that we receive. We're obligated, right? At the end of the year, people have two gripes about tax. I can't believe I paid that much, or I can't believe I didn't get more back.
Yes.
Because it's at the end of the game. When you have a wealth strategy in place, you already know throughout the year what's going to be the outcome at the end of the year. So it's so powerful. I just want to add one more thing. You said banks have. Banks own more cash value life insurance, the value of it, the wealth in it, the trillions of dollars of it. They own more in cash value life insurance policy than they do in real estate. And everyone listening can have one. Why would they have their money there?
Yeah.
Oh man, when you peel the layers of the onion back, you'll see like, what in the world and why would they do it? And I can have it too. That goes back to my frat brother. Like, hey, what are you doing? Is it legal? And can I have one?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm first in line.
You're right.
100%. Yes,
Right.
Exactly. And yes, you can have two. If anybody's out there doesn't want to get in touch with Sanja and Asa, you better go back and listen to this episode again and again until you do, because this is, I don't know, this to me is foundational stuff. This is wealth management for everyone, and to not do it is not smart. I'm just going to say that. It's just not smart. How can people get in touch with you guys?
Okay, so here is our phone number. It is 312-883-9414. And then we also have a web page that you can go to, which is riches, RICHES.com. Riches in Hand.
It is actually down. It's going to be up by the end of the day or by the time this airs, richesinhand.com.
Okay.
There's a link you can go to get more information.
All right. You guys don't panic. It's in the show notes. I know you're doing something else. You don't have a pen to write all that down. It will be in the show notes. Go there, find it. If you can't find it in the show notes, send me an email. You know how to get in touch with me. Get to me. I will get you in touch with Sanja and Asa. I'm already getting a bunch of people in touch with them. So trust me, this is something you want to do. You guys, thank you so much. We could talk forever because, talking money is like fun to me, especially talking about how to save it, how to make it, how to do things with it, because it is not about just having it in a bank or having it in your mattress or having it in your safe. It's what can I do? What changes can I make?
Mhm.
And the ones that I can make for me and my family, and have my family, just that legacy go on, and nobody has to worry too much. I thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having us. I really enjoyed working with you, and I'm super excited to be on your show. Thank you.
Yes. I'm
Thanks.
excited you're on my team, honestly.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. This is great. Thank you so much.
You've been listening to Money with Mission. There are projects happening right now where you can have a great financial return while positively affecting the lives of others. To learn more about our opportunities, go to moneywithmission.com.